Greetings, YouTube. Jian Ghomeshi was a broadcaster for CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Channel. I used to listen to him when I went to work, and it kind of bothered me that he had this self-effacing yet incredibly huge ego on air. He was always the hippest guy in the room. He was always the coolest person you could possibly know. And he was always very casual about the fact that, I know how to do that. Of course, I know how to speak Farsi. He speaks Farsi. But it was just this attitude that, the most accomplished gentleman in the room would, of course, know how to speak Farsi. And it goes without saying that he speaks Farsi because he is the most accomplished gentleman in the room. But a lot of his interviewees were very interesting, so I listened to him. And he was better than listening to most other things on my way to work. And then it blew up that he had sexually assaulted a number of women and sexually harassed even more. And he was fired, and he went to trial, and there is still a lawsuit out about the sexual harassment that has not seen the light of day inside of a court system. However, the charges of sexual assault that were filed against him by 3 different women have been dismissed. He has been acquitted from all charges. And there are a lot of people very upset about this. And because the number of women that had come forward, and these women in particular, seemed to have what it takes to win this case, and yet they didn't. And so people are asking, how did this case go the way it went? Well, one of the ways it went this particular manner is a statement quoted by the judge that ruled over this case. "We must fight against the stereotype that all sexual assault complaints are truthful." I'm going to run that by you one more time. "We must fight against the stereotype that all sexual assault complaints are truthful." Now, that particular statement is an MRA's wet dream, a rapist's absolute perfect thing for a judge to be saying. Before that judge sat down at that bench, before he picked up that gavel to begin that case, he was convinced that those women that were about to testify in front of him were going to lie. And society says, well, unless you're the perfect victim, we're not going to believe you. And what's the perfect victim? Oh, the perfect victim is a moving point. It's a target that just keeps and you can never nail it down. It can be impacted by your age. It can be impacted by your socioeconomic status. It can be impacted by your race. It can be impacted by your marital status. It can be impacted by your personal sexual history. It can be impacted by many, many things. If a woman doesn't come forward and charge a man for sexual assault, and tries to deal with the thing on her own, the process of her on her own, trying to handle the emotional abuse that came with it. Well, if you don't publicly make a charge against someone, how is this case ever going to be taken seriously? A woman comes forward and charges a man. Oh, you're going to ruin his life! Woman just comes forward and speaks about it. No, we don't want to hear that thing. It really makes us uncomfortable. We don't want to know about these things. It'd be really nice, if you could, it would be perfect. In fact, if you could never ever speak about it, never impinge the reputation of that man, and if your abuser is your partner, just stay with them, so that the public never has to know about the ugliness that you live with. That would be perfect. So maybe that's the perfect victim. One that stays in the dark, and is abused forever, and society never has to face it. Maybe that's the perfect victim. But I'm sick of this shit. Report it, you get lambasted in public and told you're ruining someone's life. Don't report it, well, you're part of the problem. Ask for resources to help get out of domestic violence situations so you don't become a victim or you escape your victimizer. Oh, no, we don't want to be handling that right now. Our monetary resources are being tied up in other areas. We won't help women escape online stalkers. Oh, our laws haven't quite caught up to what the internet is doing, kind of thing. Yeah, There is no way to win. What do we expect women to do? Every avenue we give them, boom, closed. Boom, closed. Boom, closed. We need perfect victim, society says, and yet we aren't willing to define what they are. Oh, and if you're a sex worker, well, then you're just screwed. Don't ever report a rape. And how many other crimes does your past involvement with someone determine whether you'll be believed or not? If two people are on a sports team, and they've a wrestling team, and they wrestle every single day for a year, do we say that would excuse when one of them attacks another in a bar? Of course not. That's a different situation. One is consensual and one isn't. But unless, of course, it's sexual assault, then suddenly, well, you've had sex with that person before. This person is a predator. And now he's been let go because a judge decided before the case ever began that the women that were about to be in his court were going to lie. Now, let's see if the internet can do me a massive favor and not get anyone in the comments below to agree with that judge. That would be really perfect.